Hello lovely people, welcome to the Edges and Trends. Join me, let's do this princess sweater and pants. Yes, I had done piece of it, but I want to show you how you do it from the second design. So what you do, you can place whatever you want. It can be a tape, masking tape, in the position where you want the design to go. Then you trace as many times as you want until when you feel like the design or the machine is tracing where you want the design to be. There is no harm in tracing as many times as you want. But the bad thing is if you don't trace enough and then you make a mistake. So what I did, I placed a small stabilizer where I want my design to go, and I kept on tracing and tracing until I felt like satisfied. Yes, the design will be perfect right there. Yes, when I felt like it's okay, now I was ready to go and like stitch the name right there. But before that, I had to remove that stabilizer and put a water soluble stabilizer. So you'll keep around, stay around until the end. So you can see why it is called a water soluble stabilizer. Usually, we put this stabilizer on top of the garment. Most especially it's done with the stretchy garments. Those are sweaters, those are towels, those ones with fluffy surfaces. It will work best, because if the garment is stretchy or it has some fluffs on the top of it and you don't put that stabilizer on top of the garment, you'll find the stitches going into the fabric and the design will not be seen properly. But the stabilizer help it to float on top of the garment and doesn't go into the threads. So I use this adhesive glue. It's temporary, so I sprayed it on that water soluble stabilizer so that it can stick properly on the garment, but I knew it will come off because it's a temporary adhesive. So I had to trace again to see if I'm not wrong. Yes, I did not move it, but I just wanted to be sure, because you know, embroidery is kind of something that is irreversible. Once you start stitching, you cannot go back. So you have to make sure, you want to make sure that you're perfect in the right place where you want to stitch. When all is done, then you put down the foot and then you're ready to go. Yes, like I did. When the machine makes some stitches, I usually stop it or pause it to cut off this long thread, because trust me, believe me, you don't want drama coming from this long thread that is hanging out. So what you do, you pause the machine, cut it out, and then proceed with the design. Thank you so much, lovely people, for those who have subscribed to this channel, and those who have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing, like this video, and comment. It really helps me, it really helps the channel grow. Some people have benefited from this kind of tutorials, so please subscribe, like, and share. So like you see, the design is here. I've already stitched Prince, so I'm stitching the name Steve. Good thing with the embroidery machine, it shows everything where it's stitching. So that's where it shows. So you see where it's stitching. That's the exact place where the machine is showing. So there you go. So this design is simple. I did it in Embroidered software. Just typing the name, chose the font, did the process like I've shown you, trace. After hooping, you trace. After tracing, then you can start stitching, as easy as that. Nothing complicated about this design or this name. Yes. All lovely people who are still here, thank you so much. I really appreciate. If you really find my tutorials helpful, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video and share with a friend so that we can share the knowledge. As we enjoy the stitching and waiting for the name to complete, I'll discuss with you something. Those of you who are doing embroidery, there are some different hooping types or hooping styles. There is this one where you get the stabilizer, attach it to the garment, and then hoop inside the hoop. But there is another hooping style or hooping method where you can just float the garment on the hoop. You hoop the stabilizer, you get the cloth or the garment, and then hoop it or just float it on the stabilizer using the pins, like here. This is what I'm talking about. These pants were tiny, so I could not put them in my smallest hoop I have currently. So what I did, I had to float it. This is what I'm talking about. You get the stabilizer, you hoop it like normally the way you do the hooping, and then you get the temporary adhesive, the one I showed you. You spray on the garment and then stick it on the stabilizer. After sticking it on the stabilizer, then you have to pin to secure the garment in one place, because if you just stick it there, since the other one is just temporary, it can come off and then you'll have drama coming up. But if you pin it in place, then it's stable. You do the procedures like normally you do. You trace to make sure the design is where you want it to be. And you don't forget to make sure you face the design in the right place according to your hoop or according to the machine you're using. Yes, so it's done. This is what we call floating hooping. So you float the garment on the stabilizer like this using pins. Here we go. Those ones that stayed around to see why the other one was called water soluble. So this is why. So we have water in a spray bottle. So we're going to spray. When you spray on it, it dissolves and disappears, leaving the design hanging or floating on the garment. It looks amazing. If we had not put that, the design will be hidden in the threads inside the garment. So, and it's easy to remove. You just spray like so, then you pull it out, and then it's gone. It's done, and the design left beautifully stitched. And something you don't want to forget when you do embroidery, as you know, we all use stabilizer. Some of you use tearaway, some of you use cutaway, but don't forget, you don't want to forget to put a tender touch at the back of the garments after stitching, because you know that roughness from the stabilizers react differently with different skins. Some people have really sensitive skins that they cannot even stand that stabilizer and then the threads at the back of the design on their skin. So what you do, after doing everything, clean up the design, let it look beautiful the way you want it, but you don't want to forget to put the tender touch at the back. So this is the tender touch I'm talking about. We cut a piece. You just need to cover only the design. You don't have to cover the whole part of the garment. Only the area where the design is where you need to cut, especially if it's a baby's garment. Please don't forget, don't ever forget to do that. Baby skins are really sensitive. So with this tender touch, it has two feels, or it has two textures. One side is soft and the other side is rough. You make sure you face the rough side down, because the rough side is having like some adhesive. When you iron it on the garment, it will stick on the garment, like you see how it did here. Believe me, I never forget to customize my brands, like my work. I always put my logo, that star, and then I iron it with that mini heat press. I do the rest of heat press on the big machine, but for that logo I usually do it with a mini heat press, because I feel like it's not appropriate to put the cloth or the garment in the big machine because of that tiny thing. So we are the edges, trends and threads. Yeah, so we do a lot of things. We do resin art, embroidery, and the heat transfer. When I put my logo, you just know my work on that specific project is done. And now that project is ready for packing and get delivered to the owner. See how it turned out? Prince Steve on the other jacket or the sweater, and then Steve on the pants. Thank you so much, my customers. I really do appreciate those who support this small business. It's not easy to trust someone new in the system, but Alhamdulillah, people have trusted me, and I promise you I'll do my best to fulfill your trust. Thank you so much, and bye bye. See you next time.